Welcome back for more Reddit story videos. Today we have several IDontWorkHereLady stories for you to enjoy. As always, don't forget to share and like if you enjoy these videos. Without further ado, here we go. Yes, I'm Asian, but no, I don't understand you. So I just recently found this up and it reminded me of a story that happened a little over a year ago. My high school band was taking a trip to New York City and we were performing at the Intrepid, an old ship that's been converted into a sea, air and space museum. We performed in the morning and afterwards had the rest of the time there to ourselves. I don't remember how long we were there, but we stayed a good bit in the afternoon because my friends and I had to buy lunch. We ended up stopping at a small dining area on one of the ship's lower decks. It had a really weird setup where there were different lines for different type of food, a line for pizza, another for sandwiches, etc. After you ordered, you were given a little number ticket and had to wait at the end of the counter for your food. After you get your food, then you go to pay at a different counter in the next room, which had the tablets. It was around lunch hour and the place was getting really crowded. It wasn't a huge dining place and I went with a bunch of friends, so everyone waiting for the food was standing pretty much shoulder to shoulder. Me and one of my friends, who I'm gonna call S, were the last two to get our food. So we were still waiting at the counter together while the others found a table. While we were waiting, a small Asian lady, who I'm gonna call AL, pushed in between us, but we really didn't care and we're just waiting to get our food. As I'm standing there, AL tapped me on the shoulder. When I turned to her, she started yelling at me in some foreign language, pointing at her ticket and kind of holding it out to me like I'm supposed to take it and do something with it. She didn't seem angry at me, but more like annoyed in general. And the room was kind of loud, so I didn't think the yelling was too weird, but it definitely freaked me out for a second. I just kind of stared at her though, because I had absolutely no idea what she said to me. She finished and looked at me expectantly, and I didn't know how to respond, so I just went, "Excuse me?" Then she started yelling at me again in the same language, gesturing to her food ticket. I looked over at S with wide eyes and confusion, and she looked back at me with the same confusion, and neither of us know what to do. First of all, I don't know why she thought that I could help her with anything. It seems like she wanted me to tell her when her food would come out or something, but I was on the outside of the counter and I was wearing jeans and a long sleeve t-shirt with my school name on it. Everyone in the band was wearing it for our performance, so I looked nothing like an employee or anyone with authority. Second, even though I'm Asian, I'm not sure why she assumed that I would know the language she spoke out of all the Asian languages out there. When AL stops talking, I just look at her and politely stutter out something like, "I'm sorry, I don't understand you." At that, she just goes, "Oh," and just shuffles away from the counter to her family, who is waiting a little ways behind S and I. S shifted close to me and I told her that I had no clue as to what she wanted. I told S that the lady definitely wasn't Vietnamese, which I am, and S, who is Chinese, said that she wasn't speaking Chinese either. Eventually, we got our food, sit down and tell our friends what happened while we eat. I don't know what happened to AL afterwards, but I assume that she and her family got their food. Looking back, she was probably a confused tourist who didn't understand how the line worked. I wish I could have helped explain to her, but I didn't know how, seeing as I couldn't understand a word of what she is saying, and based on the fact that she thought out another Asian to help her, I don't think she knew English very well. Karen tries to order pizza from me while I am eating pizza myself, then refuses to believe I don't work there. For context, I work at a chain bakery that has a bright blue polo shirt and khaki colored pants as the uniform, with the bakery's logo embroidered on one of the sleeves. Coming home from work on the bus, there's a small plaza at the stop before mine that has some pretty bomb pizza. And every once in a while I'll stop by the plaza to grab some and walk the rest of the way home. The uniform there is a fire truck red t-shirt with the logo completely covering the back and black pants. If someone can tell me how Karen got this mixed up, I would love to know. The cast is myself, me, Pizza Girl PG, Manager M, and Karen K. Anyway, here's the story. On this great day, I was running on 3-4 hours of sleep, a cheese croissant and a coffee, had just gotten off an 8 to 3 p.m. shift and hadn't had time to grab lunch while on break. So suffice to say, I was hungry. Hungry enough that I didn't even care that I was still in my work uniform. I just wanted some food pronto. So I stopped by the pizza parlor, grabbed a slice, some Mountain Dew and a cookie for the road, and sat down a happy customer. I had my headphones in and was scrolling through my phone while I ate when the staff disappeared behind the counter. No biggie. About a minute later, Karen walks in. It was just me in the place at that time, and the staff was still in the kitchen. The most attention I gave her was a quick glance before looking back to my phone and taking another sip of my pop. I assumed she would just go up to the counter and order, like a normal person, but I assumed wrong. Before I knew it, she was standing right beside my table and giving me that good old disapproving stare only Karens are capable of. This was our interaction as follows. Me, taking an earbud out and lowering my volume. Can I help you? Hi, can I get a... Starts listing her order. Me, catching on pretty quickly. Oh, sorry, but I don't work here. Karen pauses as if this information was too large of a worldview shift for her to process, and in the end her brain just could not compute. First, don't interrupt me. That's very rude. Second, that's a uniform. This is an establishment. I know you work here, so don't give me that attitude. The logic of this Karen made my own brain short-circuit, and I guessed it showed on my face cause the next thing I knew, her jaw dropped in shock and she was railing me on my horrendous work ethic and berating me over wearing headphones on the job and eating all the products that meant for the customers. She even went as far to say that I would made a huge mistake as she was a regular and had more than enough leeway to get me fired. Side note, if she was a regular, she would have known what the uniform looked like. It was around this point that I remembered the logo on my sleeve and just wordlessly turned my arm and pointed at it. Karen stopped yelling long enough to give it a proper look, and I could see the color just drain from her face. I'm a petty little shit though, so to rub salt into the wound, I taked on not so friendly, see that, company name. What was this place called again? Then, not 2 seconds later, and an actual staff shows up behind Karen and asked if there is a problem. I thought that was the end of it. Okay, yes, there is a problem. Your coworker was extremely rude to me. Yep, that's right. Karen was still insisting that I worked there. Pizza girl looks at me and recognizes me as the girl she just served. Madam, she doesn't work here. Don't lie to me. I want to see a manager. PG goes to her manager, all the while Karen is giving me the snobbiest death glare I've ever gotten in my life. I just sighed and took another sip of my pop. Then PG and her manager came back out. Manager, hey, what's the problem here? Okay, that girl refuses to take my order and was extremely rude to me. You need to discipline her. M, same as PG, looks at me and knows I don't work for her. She doesn't work here, madam, but I can take your order if you would like. Finally, Karen leaves me alone and follows the manager to place her order. I could hear her complaining about me though, so I started packing up my things to eat my pizza at home and in peace. PG stopped me though, handing me a takeout bag with another slice, garlic dip and a cookie. She said it was both an apology for having to deal with Karen and a thank you for being one of their nicer regulars. She puts a smile on my face, and this was yesterday. On my way out though, I heard Karen demanding a free pizza. I hope those guys turn out okay. Anyway, thank you for reading. Karen tried to get pizza from me, part 2. I went to a pizza joint on my way home from work a couple of days ago while still wearing my uniform. My uniform looks nothing like the uniform there, but it didn't matter as Karen came up to my table while I was eating and tried to order a pizza. I told her I didn't work there. She didn't believe me, so I showed her the logo on my uniform, which is of a chain bakery. Either she was plain stupid or decided to double down because she kept going. In the end, I walked away with a free slice and she was demanding a free pizza from the manager there. Anyway, I just got home from work and have been itching to post this. So, on shift today was myself, my manager, an angel by the way, and my buddy. Let's call him James. I told him what happened the day I posted the story, which was the day after it happened. Partly I wanted to give my side of the story in case Karen called, but mostly just because I needed to share. My manager laughed but told me not to worry about it, so I didn't. Fast forward to today. My district manager paid us a visit, doing the standard checkups and whatnot. It was at the end of her visit, however, that things got interesting. She was asking for our opinions on a certain matter. What was that matter, you ask? Whether or not she should block a certain caller from being able to contact her at our head office. M. Why? What's this caller doing? DM. She keeps calling to see if I fired one of our girls. M. What do you mean? What happened? DM. Initially, she called to complain that one of our girls was behaving indecently and was rude to her. Only thing is, she didn't have a name and the incident didn't happen at one of our stores. All she had was her description and that she was wearing our uniform. I told her there wasn't anything I could do for her and she hung up on me. She called a few times to see if I've taken action yet though, and it's getting annoying. James and I share a look. The you don't think kind. J. Wait. Her description? DM scoffs. It wasn't even a good one. All she said was that the girl was short, had black hair, mid-toned skin and brown eyes. That could be anyone. Gestures towards me. Look, it could have been Knafro. There was a small pause. Then Jay starts laughing. M plunging in. Oh my god, do you think it was? Me, no way. DM, wait, what's going on? Looks at me. Do you know something? Was it actually you? I couldn't help it. I just started laughing. James and my manager joined in and my district manager just smiled. DM, it was you, wasn't it? I nodded and she started laughing too. After I explained what happened, my district manager lets me know she would go ahead and have the number blocked. Bakery employee 1, Karen 0. So those were the stories for today's video. If you enjoyed this video, a like would be highly appreciated. It really does help my channel out. Also, if you enjoyed this and want to stay up to date on the latest videos, then don't forget to subscribe. Thanks for listening and I will see you in the next video.